Hello guys, welcome to Tariq's class. So we're gonna do advanced math today, part 1. So which of the following is not equivalent to the expression above? So you can use calculator, but another way would be 8 power 5 over 32 power 2. You can write 8 as 2 power 3 and don't forget the power 5. You can write 32 as 2 power 5, I believe, power 2. So then it's 3 times 5, it's 2 power 15, and the bottom it's 2 power 10. When you divide and then they have the same base, 2, you can just subtract the power, 15 minus 10, so that's 2 power 5. Okay, now which one of them is not equivalent to 2 power 5? So A is equivalent to 2 power 5. B, they're like 5 multiplying 5 2's. So each one of them has a power 2. When you're multiplying, so it's 2 power, you add the power, so it's 2 power 5. So B is also 2 power 5. And 2 power 5 is 32. So C will be the answer because when you're adding, you don't add the power. Okay, that's when we're multiplying. So when you're multiplying, they have same base, you add the power. When you're dividing, same base means you subtract the power. So question number 2. So we're multiplying radicals. So 27 times 12, you can use calculator, that would be 324. And if you multiply x power 3 with x power 5, remember I talked about it. When you multiply and they have the same base, you keep the base and add the power. Now square root of 324, it's going to be 18. But x power 8, when you square root a power, it becomes half. So x power 4. Okay, so square root will make the power half. So which one is the answer? A is the answer. So similarly, the cube root, if you have cube root, will make the power divided by what? 3. So 2 power 9 divided by 3 would be 3. Okay, number 3. Here same thing, similar. So for 64 y power 3 power 2/3 is equal to a y power b. Well, first of all, 64 means it's 2 power, okay, let's not make it 2, let's say 4 power 3, okay? You can use calculator to check it out, or times y power 3, and then I have a power 2/3. Now, this power, I'm just going to multiply into both, like distribute. So 4 power 3 times 2/3, let's do it on the side. It's just 2 times y power 3 times 2/3 is also 2 is equal to a y power b, right? Now if you see 4 square is 16, y square equal to a y power b. Now if I match, I can see that a is the 16 and b is the 2. Now they want a plus b, so 16 plus the 2, 18. So C is the answer. Question number 4, we have d power 6 equal to 216. If you look at the question, it's asking what is 15 over d power 2? Well, d power 6, remember, if I cube root a power, it divides by 3. So I'm going to cube root both sides. So cube root of 6 is d power 2. And cube root of 216 is 6. So now the problem solved. So you can say 15 over d power 2 is 6. Now you can use calculator for that. Answer will be 2.5. Question number 5. So it says t power 4 a square equal to t power 49. So I can say 4a square is equal to the 49. Right? I can take out the t from both sides. Divide by 4 both sides. A square equal to 49 over 4. Let's square root both sides. A will be equal to plus or minus 7 over 2. Remember this, when you have two sides, an equal sign, and you square root both sides, there will be two answers, plus or minus. Just regular square root of 9 is 3. But if you have x squared equal to 9 and you square root both sides, there will be plus and minus 3. Okay, that's the difference between them. But here in the question says a is a negative constant. So we're going to ignore the plus. We're going to reject the plus and only deal with the negative. So then what is the value of 2 to the power 2a plus 7? Well, if a is that, 2a will be, I can just times it by 2 both sides. So 2a is negative 7. 2 to the power negative 7 plus 7 is 2 to the power 0. Oh, it turns out to be anything power 0 is not 0, 1. Answer is 1. Anything power 0 is 1. Question number 6. C equal to 50 times 2 power x over 3. The equation above represents the number of customers C entering a store where the number of customers increased by 50% every 3 hours. Okay, if the store starts with 50 customers, we can see that. How many minutes will it take for the number of customers to reach 200? So when will the customer be 200? So C, I'm going to plug in 200, 50 to x over 3. So this is in terms of hours, but they're asking how many minutes. Be careful about it. So let's solve for x first. Divide by 50. 4 equal to 2 power x over 3. So 4 is same thing as 2 power 2 equal to 2 power x over 3. So I can take out 2 and 2. So 2 is equal to x over 3. You see the 2 powers? 2 and x over 3, they will be equal to each other. Now you cross multiply, so x equal to 6. Now that's x. Is the answer going to be 6? No, because it's 6 hours. But they want it in terms of minute. So I'm going to times it by 60. That's 360 minutes. So answer is actually D. Be extremely careful about this. This is a very strong trick. 7. A startup company launches a new mobile app. So on the first day, 150 people downloaded the app. So this is an exponential model. So 150 people, as you can see, all the option has 150. So that's the starting 150. And the company observes that the number of downloads, so D is the total downloads, doubles every 20 minutes. So doubles means the factor, the increase of factor is 2. Doubles means 2. If it would be triples, I would have put 3. If it would be like quadruple, I would have put 4. So doubles every 20 minutes. Okay, every 20 minutes. Now, first of all, you have to see what does T stand for. Which of the following equation best models the D of downloads in T hours? T is the number of hours. So every 20 minutes means, 20 minutes actually means 1/3 of an hour. So if I say just T here, this will mean it doubles every hours. But they said no, it's not doubling every hours. So every 1/3 hours. So T over 1/3. Okay, so every 1/3, if they say you put T over 1/3. If they say every 2 hours, I would have put T over 2, whatever. Every 30 minutes, T over 1/2, something like that. Now this you can write as T over 1/3 means T divided by 1/3. So remember, keep, change, flip. Keep the first one, change, flip the second one. That's actually same as 3T. So D is equal to 150 to power 3T. So answer is D. So what value of x makes the equation f of x equal to 0? So they want f of x is 0. So I'm going to plug in f of x is 0 equal to 12 minus square root of 5x minus 1. You can plug it into the Desmos if you want, but I'll just say solve it. No big deal. Negative 12 minus square root of 5x minus 1. So negative cancel out. So 12 equal to square root of 5x minus 1. Just square both sides. So 144 equal to 5x minus 1 plus 1 both sides. So 145 equal to 5x. Now divide both sides by 5. So x equal to 145 divided by 5 is 29. So answer will be 29. Number 9, it says a first faucet can fill a tank in 12 minutes and the second one can fill the same tank in 18 minutes. So this is the rate for the first faucet, and then 18 minutes is for the second one. Second one is a bit slower. Now if the both faucet works, so these both kind of questions, it works like there's a formula. I call it like work formula. That means 1 over H1 means the rate of the first one plus 1 over H2, the second faucet or second guy, whatever the question is 1 over T. T is the together, if they work together. So So the first facet is 1 over 12 minutes, okay? Plus the second one is 1 over 18 minutes equal to 1 over x. Okay, so x is the together. Now we just need to solve it. You can use calculator, or you can times it by 3 times it by 2. So it's 3 plus 2, 5 over 36. The common denominator is 36 equal to 1 over x. Okay, so but we're not looking for 1 over x, we're looking for x, so we can just flip both fractions. So we can say 36 over 5 equal to x over 1, which is same thing as x. So 36 over 5 is 7.2. So 7.2 minutes. A is the answer. I'll give you another quick example. Let's say person A can finish the homework in 2 hours. The person B can finish the homework in 3 hours. If they decide to do the homework together, how long it will take? So you say 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 equal to 1 over x. And when you solve for the x, that will be their speed together. Number 10 is an absolute value equations. For these, you can use Desmos, but these are easy ones. So what you can say, 12t minus 24 is equal to 60, right? So you can write 12t minus 24 equal to 60 as it is, or 12t minus 24 is equal to negative 60. Remember, absolute value can be negative as well. Now you do plus 24, so 12t equal to 84. Now divide by 12. So t, I believe, is 7. Here plus 24 both sides. So 12t equal to, how much is that? 36. Yeah, negative 36. Divide by 12. So t can be is equal to negative 3. Now look, if t is less than 2 means we have to reject the 7. So we're going to use this value, negative 3. Then what is the value of that? So we're going to plug it in. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. So B is the answer. For question 11, you can just put it in, type it into the Desmos. So I did type it already. Now as you can see that this point here is 4, 0. So anything less than 4, it's giving you the solution, the purple. So x less than 4. So C is the answer. Okay, Desmos helps a lot. Okay, number 12. So as I can see the options, these are probably the converting the words into the inequalities. Now a food truck vendor is loading crates of apples and pears. So each crate of apples weight 30 pounds. And each crate of pears weight 50 pounds. Now let A represents the number of apple crates. So there will be 30 times A. That's the weight of the apple. And P represents the number of pears. So plus 50 times the P. And the truck can carry no more than 18 crates. So 18 is the highest. So 18 or less. So total apple and pear has to be less than or equal to 18. And up to 700 pounds. So it has to be less than or equal to 700. So which one of them is the option? So A is the same thing. So A is the answer. Welcome to Tariq's class. So we're on Advanced Math Part 2. So the question number 1 is saying, what value of x makes the above expression undefined? As you can see, we're going to use Desmos. But before that, undefined means the denominator of the fraction will be 0. We do not accept it. That means undefined. So what we're going to do is we're going to type it into the Desmos. So I did type it in already, as you can see. So the point here is 1.25. So if x equal to 1.25, the number 1 will be undefined. But first of all, be careful about the settings of Desmos. So you can just type in Google like Desmos graphing calculator and you can get this. So you see my settings. I like to keep my y-axis between like negative 500 to 500 around there, and x-axis as well, almost like 1000 to 1000. You can also like zoom in and zoom out, but I like to keep it that way. Most of it falls under these and easy to view. Number 2, Marcus biked 18.5 miles from his home to the gym in 1.5 hours. After working out, he biked 21.5 miles from the gym to park in 1.7 hours. Now, what is Marcus's average speed in miles per hour for entire trip? If you want to find entire trip average, I call it grand average sometimes. So entire trip would be the total distance traveled over total time. Whatever the total distance is, like 18.5 miles first, plus he did 21.5 miles, and total time it took. The first trip was 1.5 hours. The second one was 1.7 hours. Now you just calculate it. So it's 12.5. That's the answer. 12.5 miles per hour. Well, question number 3, as I said, we're going to use Desmos for that. I already typed it in. So here, as you can see, the question is asking what is the negative solution of the quadratic equation. So there are 2 points actually. It's so close to each other. That's why. But you see that it's pretty dense line. So there are 2 different points. One is 2.5. Another one is -5. Okay. So these are the x-intercepts. So they said what is the negative solution? So answer will be -5. So quadratic equation and all this, you don't have to solve it by yourself. Use Desmos for that. So -5 is the answer. C. Okay, question number 4, again quadratic equation, how to solve it. What did I say before? We're going to use Desmos for that. So I just typed it into the Desmos. There are 2 points, as you can see. One is 2.26. I'm just going to write one is 2.26. The other one is -13. Another one is -13.26. So now they said square and add them. These are the 2 solutions, P and Q. So 2.26 power 2 plus -13.26 power 2. Let's see how much we get. We get 180.9352, which is closest to 181. So answer is D. For question 5, you can type it into the Desmos as well. So I did, but then again, remember, they don't really recognize what A is, so I had to open up another one. So A equal to, I'm going to try out the options. So let's say A equal to 4. So I see that there are 2 answers. You see, they're very close to each other. You can zoom in and reduce the scale to see it better. But I can see it that it's a little denser. So there are 2 lines. So 2 different answers. But when A is equal to 5, so this is just one thin line, so only one solution, -1.5. They said it has only exactly one solution. I mean, just when it's 5, when A is 5, then it's going to have one solution, which will be -1.5, but the answer is B5. Question number 6, it says the above graph shows a parabola given by the equation y equal to ax squared minus bx plus c, where a, b, c are constants. So how many of these constants are negative, a, b, c? Well, you see the graph is upside down, so a must be negative. That's why it's upside down, otherwise it will be like this. Okay. Now, as you can see, c is the y-intercept, that's negative as well. You see, less than 0. Now, to find the b, well, they gave us a point vertex, which is 7 and 11. Now, vertex is a point, the maximum. This is called vertex. Okay. So if you want to find the vertex, x equal to negative b over 2a. This is the formula. Okay. And vertex is a point, x and y. If you want to find the x, you do negative b over 2a. And if you want to find the y, you plug it into the equation. But here we don't need that. I see that x is 7 already, so I can set it up equal to 7. Now I have to plug in. So remember this b here, it's negative itself. So negative for the formula and again negative b. Be careful about this. Over 2a. So it's a positive b over 2a equal to 7. So b over 2a equal to 7. Let's cross multiply. So b equal to 14a. As I said, a is negative. B will be negative as well, because no matter what negative number you plug in for a, b is going to end up being negative as well. So all three of them are negative. So answer is D, all three constants. Okay, number 7, they gave us another quadratic equation. In the above quadratic equation, p and q are two real constants. So p square plus 4q equal to 0. Which of the following is the solution? Now, in quadratic equation, so far you have learned how to find the vertex of the question before. It's x comma y. If you want to find x, it's equal to negative b over 2a, right? So that's one of the information about quadratic equation. If you want to find the y, you have to plug it into the equation, right? Now, there is one more thing you're going to learn on this. So if the parabola intersects the y-axis 2 times, it means it has 2 solutions. Before that, let me tell you, there is a quadratic formula, you probably heard it before, x equal to negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a, right? Now, this b square minus 4ac part, if that is greater than 0, that means it has 2 solutions. Means you're going to have 2 answers. Square root of something, then plus and minus. Now, if it is, it has only 1 times it is touching the parabola, the x-axis. So it means b square minus 4ac will be equal to 0. Means you will have only 1 solution. Okay, and sometimes no solution. For example, if it is not touching x-axis at all. So this one means b square minus 4ac is less than 0. That's when you're going to have a square root of negative number. It will lead you to the complex number. We'll call it no solution. Okay, so 2 solutions, 1 solution and no solution. Okay, so b square minus 4ac decides that. This is called discriminant. Okay, discriminant. Okay, so discriminant decides how many solutions the quadratic equation have, right? So has. Now in this case, let's go back to the question. It is saying that are 2 real constants, so p square plus 4q equal to 0. So if I were to find the discriminant of this equation, means just find out what is b square minus 4ac is. Remember, b is the second value p. So p square minus 4, a is just next to x square 1, and c is negative q. That is 4 square, p square plus 4q. That is the discriminant. So that is equal to 0. Means how many solutions do we have? Only 1 solution, right? So p square plus 4q equal to 0 means 1 solution. So let's find that solution. So I'm going to plug it in. Remember, this is the quadratic formula. Yeah. So I'm going to use the 1 solution 1. So no solution, we don't need it. So in this case, I'm going to plug it. So negative b and plus minus. Remember, b square minus 4ac, this equal to 0. So it's just square root of 0. Means it's not going to matter at all. 2, a is just 1. So it's negative b. By the way, b is p here. So negative p over 2. So answer is a. Now let me quickly explain to you. This b square minus 4ac, if it is equal to 0, then you're going to have 1 solution. B square minus 4ac greater than 0, 2 solution, and b square minus 4ac less than 0, it's no solutions. We're going to practice that as well. This is called discriminant. We use it a lot when question like, oh, this quadratic equation has no solution. It means b square minus 4ac less than 0. We'll practice those kind of questions later. Question number 8 is asking the equation above represents the parabola with the vertex h and k. If you want to find the vertex, you can just type it into the Desmos. So vertex would be 2, negative 81. Now they said, what is, so 2, negative 81. So h is the 2 minus k is the negative 81. So it's actually 2 plus 81, that's 83. You can also find it by, expanding it. And then if you expand it, I'm just going to show it to you for knowledge purpose. So x squared minus 11x plus 7x minus 77. So x squared minus 4x minus 77 equals 0, right? Here, if you want to find h, you do x equal to negative b over 2a and then plug it in. Negative, negative. It's a lot of work. So which you're not going to do, right? So 4 over 2, you see 2. You get the same thing. And if you want to find the y, you can just plug in the 2 and the f of x. So f of x equal to 2 plus 7 times 2 minus 11 there will be negative 81. In this case, either way you can handle it. If you just don't want to do all the work, just type it into the decimals. So you have to learn when to use decimals because it's very helpful, but when you shouldn't use it. Okay, so that's the trick. For number 9, I am not going to solve it manually because we have decimals. So I just typed it in to the decimals. Here I got two solutions. One is 3 and 5 and 5 and 9. Solution is the two graph intersecting. So 5 and 9 is not one of the options, but 3 and 5 is. So C is the answer. For question 10, there is a point given. So f of 1 is equal to 4. Remember, the value inside of the parentheses, that's x, and the outcome is the y. So it's a point 1 comma 4. Okay, so I'm going to plug that into this. So f of x, instead of x, I'm going to plug in 1. When x is 1 plus 1 equal to 2 times f of 1 minus 5. So it's f of 2 is equal to 2 times f of 1 minus 5. And we know that f of 1 means 4. So I'm going to plug it in here. So 2 times 4 minus 5. So that's 8 minus 5, 3. So f of 2 is 3. By the way, if I plug it in here, what do I get for f of 2? Let's do it on this side. So f of 2 plus 1 is equal to 2 f of 2 minus 5, right? So f of 3, you see I plugged in f of 2 because it will lead me to f of 3 eventually, is equal to 2 times f of 2 means 3. You see how that is helping me? Minus 5. So 6 minus 5 is 1. So f of 3 is 1. Now they said if the number 11, if the graph of the function y equal to f of x passes through the point negative 3, 6, then the graph of function g of x is equal to f of x plus 3 minus 6. Now let me tell you something about translating graphs, like moving them around. Let's say if you have f of x, whatever the graph is, let's say something like a parabola. Let's say if you want to move it 3 units to the right, if you want to move it 3 units to the left, you will have to, for left and right, you have to add something or subtract something. So if you add 3 with the x, what happens is this one moves 3 units to the left. Okay, so whatever the f of x is, you move it 3 units to the left, and then minus the 6 means you move it down 6 units. Translation, okay? So that's how they got the g of x. So whatever was the parent function, like f of x, if you do plus 3 means they moved it 3 units to the left and 6 to the bottom. So there is a point for f of x. So negative 3 and 6. I'm going to do the same thing. 3 units to the left. So x will be negative 3. And see, the y will be 6 units down. So minus 6. So it's negative 6 comma 0. So that's one of the point of g of x. Question 12. It says 81 minus ax squared equal to negative 5x plus b, 5x minus b. Well, what does this remind you of? Dots, difference of two squares. For example, a square minus b square is a plus b times a minus b. The reason is the d is the difference, so you have a minus in the middle. And two squares. Squares means you can square root them. I can square root a square, that's a. I can square root b square, that's b. So same thing. So I have here 5x plus b times 5x minus b. I can write it as, it means it was 5x squared, which is 25x squared minus b squared. Because square root of 25, x squared will be 5x. And square root of b squared is b. So I can rewrite this as 25x squared minus b squared. But remember, there was a negative outside. Well, that negative I'm going to distribute it. So it will be negative 25x squared plus b squared. On the other side, I had 81 minus ax squared. 81 minus ax squared. Now, if I compare both sides, so b squared must be the 81, right? And a must be 25. You see what is next to x squared is negative 8, and next to x squared is negative 25. So a is 25. Now b is, if you square root, b is plus or minus 9. Now they are positive integers, so I'm going to remove the minus. So what is b over a? So 9 over 25. So answer is 0.36. Question 13. So they gave you a graph of polynomial function, which is p of x. And they talked about p of x minus 2. Remember we talked about translating the graph. So x minus 2 means they moved the graph 2 units to the right. Minus 2 means they moved it 2 to the right. So since they're moving it 2 units to the right, let's take a look. You see the negative 7, negative 2, and 6. These are the x-intercepts. So they're going to move 2 to the right. Okay. So it'll be negative 5, one of them. Negative 2 will move 2 to the right. It'll be 0. 6 moves to the right. It's 8. So what value of x makes it true? So negative 5, I don't have an option. 0, I don't have an option, but 8 I do. So D is the answer.